Hello everyone, this is Norcda Childa here, and welcome back to another video. So today, guys, I wanted to talk about and kind of clear up some things regarding the Robtop Games and Newgrounds negotiation process, which went on last week, following a petition by some Newgrounds users, which I will kind of go through right now. Basically, this petition is stating that Geometry Dash users are harassing artists to put their music on Newgrounds so they can use them in Geometry Dash, but also in extreme cases, they're taking MP3 files of songs they want in Geometry Dash and uploading them to Newgrounds just so they can use them. And it's kind of hurting Newgrounds' reputation and making them susceptible to lawsuits, and the same with Geometry Dash. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I am one of these people, or I used to be. When I made my level Power Glow, I uploaded Xenogenesis before the Fat Rat put stuff on Newgrounds just as an MP3 file. So I violated the thing there. And also, I didn't really harass anyone to put their music on Newgrounds, but I did ask the Fat Rat if it would be okay. And I was very polite. I didn't like harass him, but I still kind of did the same things that Newgrounds are having concerns about. So it's a real thing, you know, and I've done it, and I don't want to hide the fact that I've done it. But, you know, that was a long time ago. But now it's kind of gotten out of control with the huge increase of people in the community, and it's happening so frequently that it's really a hassle for Newgrounds to deal with. So in the end, Newgrounds addressed this petition, I think, and Robtop and Newgrounds were trying to work out a solution to try to change the music system for Geometry Dash. And it kind of was unfortunate because right around the same time, Geometry Dash got taken off of the Steam store, and Newgrounds had nothing to do with that, by the way. Robtop and Newgrounds both confirmed that they had that Newgrounds had nothing to do with it, but everyone was like, "Oh my God, Newgrounds, you're causing the end of Geometry Dash. Oh, I hate you, Newgrounds." Oh. Newgrounds had nothing to do with it. It just kind of happened at the same time, so it kind of looked like they did. But that's a whole separate issue, which I don't really know too much about yet. This is just the Newgrounds negotiation. So let's start off with the tweets that Robtop sent out. So firstly, Robtop tweeted out on January 30th that he's looking into the Geometry Dash Steam problem, which wasn't related to Newgrounds. But then the day after, or no, the same day, January 30th, he said, "I've been working with Newgrounds for a long time to improve the music process." This is probably in relation to the petition and stuff, and they did not have anything to do with the problem on Steam. So then, the next day, February 1st, he says, "Hey everyone," and they made the change happen. There is a new change in how music from Newgrounds will be handled in Geometry Dash. Read it here, and he has a link to a blog on robtopgames.com. And I thought this was really awesome how it kind of happened overnight, in a sense. It happened really quickly, so it wasn't like a long negotiation process that took forever, and, you know, both communities were unsure about what the outcome would be. This way, it kind of just happened quick, and I think the new changes are really good for both communities, Newgrounds and Geometry Dash. But let's also take a look at what Newgrounds tweeted out, because in this situation, a lot of you guys think that Newgrounds are the bad guys. They really are not. Basically, on January 30th, they tweeted out, to clarify, Newgrounds itself did not have Geometry Dash removed from Steam, so please do not try to blame/punish the website over this. So they were already clearing their name there, which is perfectly fine because they had nothing to do with it. Then, the same day they tweeted, a group of users from Newgrounds ran a petition to remove GD because they were largely tired of people uploading stolen music to use in GD. So this is them addressing the petition that the users made. And then they clarify by saying, "We've been working with Robtop to improve this process and attempt to reduce attempts at song theft, which has been a huge drain on NG." So there you have it. Newgrounds aren't really opposing Geometry Dash. They're working with Robtop, which is really important. They are not enemies in this situation, guys. I really want you to take that away from this video. Newgrounds and Geometry Dash are not enemies. Us Geometry Dash users should not attack Newgrounds users, or vice versa. We should exist in harmony. We're working with each other. Geometry Dash is a huge asset to Newgrounds, and Newgrounds is a huge asset to Geometry Dash. So if we can all just get along, it will definitely be a better process in the long run. So in the end, what did Geometry Dash and Newgrounds agree upon? Well, Robtop documented that in his little blog post on robtopgames.com, and there's 3 sections, and I'm going to go through each one with you guys now. So here is the blog post, guys, Geometry Dash and Newgrounds, February 1st, 2017 by Robtop. Hey everyone, I'm writing this post to share some changes in how custom music from Newgrounds will work in Geometry Dash. So the first section is copyright, and this is definitely a section that has been maybe the biggest concern for both parties, but let's read what Robtop said. So in recent years, a number of Geometry Dash fans have been uploading music they didn't create to Newgrounds in the hopes of using it in their levels. To try to prevent abuse, Newgrounds required accounts to be scouted before their music could be used. This led to additional problems where players would upload stolen music and then convince other community members to scout them. The NG moderation team was a group of volunteers, and handling this matter was taking up hours of their time every day. Because of this, a change in how the system works has to be made. So basically what would happen is you have to get scouted. And I actually had to go through this for my songs that I made with GarageBand loops, which later got taken down. But for those to be able to be used in Geometry Dash, you have to be scouted, where like a Newgrounds moderator has to recognize you're a legit person, and then you can use your songs elsewhere. So this process was getting really lengthy and tiring for all these Newgrounds employees to try to moderate and scout all of these artists, or not artists, just users who wanted to upload other artists' music, and that's kind of where the problem arose there. So under the new system, all previously approved artists can still be used in Geometry Dash. However, no new artists will be able to have their music used in GD by default. So that means, let's say, I'm scouted on Newgrounds now. I think I am. But let's say I created a new Newgrounds account and I wanted to upload music there. Even if I were scouted, since it's a new account after this measure has taken place, I don't think I would be able to get my songs into Geometry Dash. So this protects all the already scouted users. So Waterflame, Envy, all those people will still have their music available. Just any new users won't have them have their songs in Geometry Dash by default. So this means that even if you get a stolen song past the NG moderators, and even if you convince someone to scout you, your song will still never work in Geometry Dash. We're hoping this will stop the growing problem with song theft so that Geometry Dash can continue to use Newgrounds as a resource for music. So that's saying even if you are scouted, as I said before, you're not going to get your song into Geometry Dash. Not allowing new artists in Geometry Dash was my choice, Robtop's choice, so please do not show any anger towards Newgrounds for this decision. I think this is a super mature choice by Robtop. For him to take the measure of halting any new music makers, it's a bold move, because you're kind of stuck with what you've already got, and I think he's taking a risk by doing this, but it's a really good risk. It's making his music pool, for lack of a better term. He's making it smaller than it could possibly be. For example, there could be a new amazing artist that everyone loves on Newgrounds, but it can't really be used in Geometry Dash. I think it's a really interesting decision that he made. That he made it instead of Newgrounds. So we're gonna see how we can handle all this. But I think it's a really good decision just to keep everything kind of at bay for now. And then he finishes that section off by saying, I believe the solution will work well for both sides and will hopefully solve the problem of users uploading music they did not create. So that is the copyright section. Basically all he's doing is making a little barrier where anyone before this change still has their music able to be used in Geometry Dash, but anything after will not be able to be in the game. So I think that's a really good move by Robtop. Just a really simple little thing, but it makes the copyright process a lot more safe and clean. Moving on to section 2, here we are talking about the artists. So this is kind of a problem that hasn't really been as prominent as the copyright issue, but it's still a growing issue that Newgrounds faces and its artists every day, where Geometry Dash users will influence artists on Newgrounds. So he says there's also a second change in how artists from Newgrounds will make their songs available in Geometry Dash. Newgrounds will be implementing a specific permissions settings for allowing music to be used in Geometry Dash. Artists will be able to select whether or not they want their songs available in Geometry Dash as a separate option. This is actually a really cool idea, and I'm surprised that Newgrounds didn't really implement this in this partnership's inception back in the beginning of 1.9. I think this kind of should have been there. Basically, this is saying that any artist who uploads music to Newgrounds who scouted, their music will have to be used in Geometry Dash. That was like the old system. So this little toggle feature is such a simple fix, and it's so useful. For example, Xtroller, he like took his songs off Newgrounds because he didn't like being like. He didn't have a real problem with the Geometry Dash community, but he didn't like being associated with them, and he kind of felt beholden to whatever the Geometry Dash users' desires were. And he was being bombarded with harassment and stuff like that, and he took his songs off Newgrounds. I think they can still work in Geometry Dash, though. But he went to such an extreme move like that because he didn't feel comfortable. And that is kind of a byproduct of this exact issue. So I'm really happy he's adding this. This is I think this is a change that won't really affect the community at all. For Geometry Dash, this is just so good for the user's perspective. If they don't want their songs being used over and over and over and over again and having it build up hype in a community, I think that's amazing. This is like my favorite part of this whole reformation. It allows the artist more freedom and doesn't force them to have their songs in game that they don't want. So I'm really happy with this. Hopefully these changes will make the system work smoother and we can all focus on what we love, creating art and music for everyone to enjoy. That is true, Robtop. That is definitely true, and that's the most important. If someone doesn't want their music in Geometry Dash, that should definitely be up to them. So this change, this is really awesome. Now moving on to the third section. This is a Q&A, or really like an FAQ. This starts off with actual pretty good questions and answers, and then it kind of gets silly, but we'll read them all anyway. Why not? Robtop is a fun guy. So it says, I have added a few questions and answers below that may come up. So the question is, how can I upload my music to Newgrounds and use it in Geometry Dash? You can't at Lennyface. So that's basically talking about the copyright thing. You just can't upload it if you are a new artist. Question, does this mean there will be no new custom songs? No. New songs uploaded by already approved artists can still be available in the game, obviously. And the change is that no new artists will be added to the game. So that's just basically guaranteeing that the old ones will be able to stay, the new ones cannot. Question, will you never add custom songs from new artists? Answer, I can manually approve new artists if I want to, but they will be few, and I will manually verify that they are legit before adding them. So this is actually a cool feature. He did not address this in the copyright section. That he is able to enable new artists if he wants to, and making sure they're legit or not. But I feel like it's kind of annoying from Robtop's perspective because he has to do all these things manually. He still features levels manually. He still rates them, all that stuff. So this is another manual thing he's adding. It says that there will be few, so he's not going to be doing this all the time. What if there's like some new amazing artist that everyone loves their songs, and they're like a real person, then maybe he will allow them in. So I think that's a little cool feature how Robtop can kind of step in and do that at his discretion. So that's really nice. Question, who can approve new artists? Answer, I am the only one that can approve new artists for use in Geometry Dash. Do not ask Newgrounds about this as they cannot help you. So only Robtop has the power in this situation. Newgrounds can't put them into Geometry Dash. Robtop has that power. Question, I am a Newgrounds artist. How can I disable my music in Geometry Dash? Answer, wait for Newgrounds to add the new option, so it's not there yet, but it will be soon. And you can then manually toggle on/off having your song in Geometry Dash. That is really cool. I'm not sure how that will be included. I don't know if it's like in the upload page or whatever, but there will be a toggle system. So if you're a Newgrounds artist who doesn't want your song in Geometry Dash, just hit that off button and it will not be in the game. Question, when is Geometry Dash coming back to Steam? Hopefully soon, but no info yet. So this is a completely separate issue from the Newgrounds issue. I really don't know too much about the Steam issue. I haven't really researched it that much. I don't know if there's a lot of information. For those of you who can't buy it on Steam, if you have it on Steam already, it still works, but it's just like not on the store. Kind of an interesting paradox, but hopefully soon, not yet. But that's not related to the Newgrounds issue at all. Question, when are Gauntlets coming out? And, that little emoticon, you don't know when the Gauntlets are coming out. Hopefully soon, but yeah. And question, is the chicken on fire? No, not anymore. Poor chicken. Rest in peace, chicken. He died. Yeah. And question, DJ Rubrub is my favorite artist. Does he have any new songs? DJ Rubrub is mysterious, like Batman mixed with Santa Claus. Who knows? Okay, alright. Fair enough, Robtop. And then he finishes it off by saying, let me know if you have any other questions and I will try to answer all I can. edit. Also, I also noticed that Waterflame and some other GD artists were accused of being against Geometry Dash in some discussions. I don't know how this rumor started, but it is completely untrue. They have all been super supportive. They are the best. GD artists are love. GD artists are life. So I don't really know why this happened, but I guess a lot of users were like accusing artists with like siding with Newgrounds and stuff. And the thing is, they're perfectly entitled to do that because they're not Geometry Dash artists. They are artists who put their stuff on Newgrounds, unless they're hired, like Waterflame was hired to make Striker, or all that stuff. Like unless they're hired by Robtop, they're just free artists. So of course they can side with Newgrounds if they want. But in this case, Robtop's saying they weren't. They've been super supportive, so that's really good that we have some artists on our side. And yeah, so this situation, guys, has really shaped up to look like there's going to be a good solution, and I think this is really going to enhance both communities, Newgrounds and Geometry Dash, and I'm excited to see where this will take both communities. I think we're going to have a better time in the game now with these new changes, and it's just a little more stable now, the music system, and I think it's really good, and I'm happy that Robtop has really been verbal about this and addressing the community. Saying like I'm working with Newgrounds, and he like sent us the blog so we can have a detailed explanation, and I think it's really good how he's connected with us so we know and we're not left in the dark like we have been in previous situations, and hopefully the Steam issue will be resolved soon. That's a separate issue. I really don't know too much about that. If you guys have any questions regarding this Newgrounds Geometry Dash agreement, please leave them below. Remember, Newgrounds and Geometry Dash, we should not be enemies. We're working together. Newgrounds aren't the enemy in this situation either. They did not take Geometry Dash off Steam. Two separate issues, and even still, Newgrounds and Geometry Dash, we should live and exist together. We're not going to fight each other, and I think that's how we will have a better experience in Geometry Dash. So guys, that is it. Hopefully you found this informative. I will have links to the blog and the stuff like that below, so if you want to check it out yourself. And that's it, guys. That's all you need to know. And if there's any more developments in the situation, or like a Steam update about what's happening with that, I will be sure to make an informational video regarding that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later. Goodbye.